president of the Iraqi Kurdistan region said his forces will not withdraw from the areas they've reclaimed now from ISIL, citing an alleged deal with the US. But it seems to go against promises Washington's already made to Iraq. Ganichi Chikan has the latest.
The president of Iraq's Kurdistan region, Masoud Barzani, says he has an agreement with the U.S. and the Iraqi government that Kurdish forces will not withdraw from the lands that they reclaimed from ISIL before the beginning of the Mosul operation. Barzani apparently feels very strongly about it because he said, quote, "These areas were liberated by the blood of 11,500 martyrs and wounded from the Peshmerga. It is not possible after all these sacrifices to return them to direct federal control." End quote. 2 days before Barzani said this, he had a meeting with the U.S. ambassador to Iraq, who said he's confident Kurdish Peshmerga will withdraw from the areas. So what agreement was Barzani talking about? Was there an agreement? Did the ambassador and Barzani misunderstand each other at that meeting? Were they lost in translation? The State Department has not answered those questions. Instead, said this.
What matters to us is, again, that this campaign is led by Iraqi security forces, that it's all under Prime Minister Abadi's chain of command. That's what matters most to us. There is no doubt that the Peshmerga have been and continue to fight bravely against Daesh. No question.
Iraqi officials say the Peshmerga will have to leave. We've seen a situation in Syria this summer when Syrian Democratic Forces, led by the Kurds, helped liberate the city of Manbij and were asked to leave, all while the U.S. praised their fighting capabilities.
The Kurdish Peshmerga forces are demonstrating significant skill and resilience.
I want to recognize the heroic sacrifices of the Iraqi and Kurdish security forces and their martyrs and their families.
Committed, capable. The Kurdish forces are what we aspire to with respect to their Iraqi security forces in general. They show the will to fight. They show the capability to fight.
It's important to note that Kurdish forces are a critical component of the SDF.
They must move back across the river. They cannot, will not, and under no circumstances get American support if they do not keep that commitment, period.
In Iraq now, judging by Masoud Barzani's latest statement, the Iraqi Kurds are determined to stand their ground. The question is, can the anti-ISIL coalition afford to dismiss the Iraqi Kurds' plans and ambitions, considering Kurdish forces are an essential part of the ground operations to liberate Mosul from ISIL?
Kani Zulam from the American Kurdish Information Network says the Kurds will stay in those territories until the land dispute there is resolved somehow or other.
The issue is really the disputed territories. 11 years ago, when the Iraqi constitution was ratified by a majority of Iraqi people, including the Kurds, there was supposed to be a referendum in 2 years and to determine which areas should be part of Kurdistan regional government. That referendum was never held, and so now the Kurdish president is saying basically when we move into these disputed territories, we want to stay there until the referendum is held. And then the Iraqi government is saying, no, go back to your earlier position. So it's a contested area, and my hunch is the Kurds will stay put until there's a resolution to the disputed territories.
Amid the battle to recapture the Iraqi city of Mosul, thousands of refugees have had to flee. They've set up home at the Al-Hawl camp across the border in Syria.
All those people are trying to escape from ISIL, from coalition airstrikes, from Iraqi military forces.
It's so cold here. We don't have blankets, we don't have food. They don't give us anything.
It's difficult to get water. It's very bad here. We miss those close to us, our parents. We don't want to stay here. We want to return home.